Section 9, Unit 1. The movie's ending was very sad, with the main character dying alone in a hotel room. Soaking in a hot spring is very relaxing. All of the questions the reporter asked went unanswered. Part 1. The winding river runs through a valley surrounded by mountains. Beneath the ocean's surface is a hidden world of beautiful plants and creatures. The captain told the passengers to get off the sinking ship. The sunken ship has been located, and divers will be sent down to examine it. Part 2. Golf looks interesting. I'd like to try my hand at it one day. As he grew up, he became more interested in his studies. It was surprising that the man was robbed in the street in broad daylight. Karen was surprised when she opened the box and saw a live snake. Part 4. Brad found the cat sleeping on the sofa. Ryan heard his name said, so he stood up. It is painful to have your foot stepped on by a cow.
Section 9, Unit 2. Dennis called the police, thinking that a burglar was somewhere in his house. Terrified of heights, Edward refused to go near the window overlooking the city. Part 1. When I skied down the hill, I felt the cold air rush against my face. Skiing down the hill, I felt the cold air rush against my face. The boss was satisfied with Ellen's performance, so he decided to give her a raise. Being satisfied with Ellen's performance, the boss decided to give her a raise. The children were joyful, so they danced around and sang. Joyful, the children danced around and sang. Part 2. When asked if he would go to the party, he didn't reply. After sitting all day in the office, Sheila felt the need to take a walk. Part 3. After Gary had finished his chores, he decided to take a nap. Having finished his chores, Gary decided to take a nap. Part 4. Not looking where he was going, Mike walked into a woman carrying a cake. Never frustrated by failure, Peter kept trying to fulfill his dream.
Section 9, Unit 3. The baby sleeping, Kelly finally had time to relax. The shopping list finished, we headed to the grocery store. Part 1. The elephants marched toward the lake, and their young followed them. The elephants marched toward the lake, their young following them. Ken couldn't move because his foot was trapped between two large rocks. Ken couldn't move, his foot trapped between two large rocks. Part 2. Since there were no empty seats on the bus, Jill had to stand the whole trip. There being no empty seats on the bus, Jill had to stand the whole trip.
Section 9, Unit 4. Steve left the room with all eyes following him. Aaron likes to sit with his legs crossed. We walked along the edge of the lake with our shoes off and our jeans rolled up. Part 1. With so many people watching him perform, Tim felt very nervous. With eyes closed, Chris dived into the swimming pool. Part 2. We can't go away for the weekend with the children sick. Marge stood there with a glass of juice in her hand.
Section 9, Unit 5. The picture hanging on the wall was painted by my grandfather. The foreign words printed on the paper did not make any sense to me. Part 1. The song that is playing right now is one of my favorite songs. The song playing right now is one of my favorite songs. The elevator which is designed to carry cars is huge. The elevator designed to carry cars is huge. My sister watched a ballet performance, which inspired her to learn ballet. My sister watched a ballet performance, inspiring her to learn ballet. Part 2. The football player scored a touchdown, which boosted his team's morale. The football player scored a touchdown, boosting his team's morale. Part 3. Bobby, who is a professional singer, spends 9 months out of the year on the road. Bobby, a professional singer, spends 9 months out of the year on the road.
Section 9, Unit 6. There were plenty of desserts at the party, including cookies and ice cream. The apartment is available for $10,000 NT per month, electricity and cable TV included. Part 1. The price of the product is $200, including shipping and handling. The price of the product is $200, shipping and handling included. The price of the product is $200, inclusive of shipping and handling. Part 2. Excluding the car, the man doesn't own any properties. The library is open all week, exclusive of Mondays.
Section 9, Unit 7. Generally speaking, teenage girls are more socially mature than boys. Speaking of movies, we should find out what is playing tonight. Concerning your earlier question, I will ask Peter and get back to you. Part 1. Frankly speaking, I thought the soap opera was a complete waste of time. We could go to the movies, but honestly speaking, I'd rather stay home and read a book. Roughly speaking, the two tennis players have the same level of skill. Part 2. Mike did well on the exam, considering he found out about it only yesterday. I think this restaurant is too expensive, considering how small the dishes are. One of us should bring a map of the city, given that none of us has been there before. Part 3. Concerning the email you sent me last week, I'd like to schedule a meeting so we can discuss the questions you have. Compared to the other songs on the album, this one is the most popular. Speaking of the baseball game, the new president was there, and he threw the first pitch. According to the scientific study, this drug can cause high blood pressure. Further learning, Part 1. As far as Ted is concerned, he would rather eat out every night than cook. As far as safety is concerned, you can never be too careful. It's hard to draw a line between good and bad when it comes to art.